Hello from the islands! I am Malaya, your loyal insider here in the Philippines. Today, we are talking about the ultimate sandcastle trap that eats men over 60 alive. Listen closely, because what I'm about to say will offend the dreamers but save the realists. In this country, a house is not a home for a foreigner. It is a beautifully decorated tomb for your hard-earned retirement fund. You have worked 40 years to reach this stage of your life. You want peace, a garden, and a woman who truly values you. But if you think signing a deed in her name is the path to that asset allocation paradise, you are handing over the keys to your own prison. You've been told it's an investment in love, but I'm here to tell you it's a forced donation to a family you barely know. The legal residency status you think you're securing is a total mirage. The moment that last brick is laid, your relationship equity evaporates. You aren't the king of the castle. You are just the temporary architect for someone else's permanent estate. Stick with me for the next few minutes. I am going to expose the cultural and legal machinery that turns strong, successful men into homeless landlords overnight. I will show you the only strategy that keeps you in absolute control of your heart and your wallet. If you value your freedom more than a pile of hollow blocks, do not look away. Your entire future in the Philippines depends on this. I know what you see when you step off that plane in Manila or Cebu. You see the bright smiles, the soft "yes, sirs," and the way these young, beautiful women look at you like you're the only man left on earth. It's intoxicating, isn't it? After decades of being treated like a piece of furniture in your own home back west, or worse, being made to feel invisible because of a number on your birth certificate, this feels like a second chance at life. But I need to be the one to break the spell. That postcard version of the Philippines? It's a beautifully crafted stage play, and you, my friend, are the only one in the audience who doesn't know the script. Behind those shy giggles and God-fearing profiles on the dating apps lies a cultural survival manual that was written long before you arrived. It's not that these women are monsters. It's that their reality is built on extended support networks that you can't even imagine. They aren't looking for a soulmate in the way you were taught in the 1970s. They are looking for relationship equity. And if you don't understand that, you aren't a partner, you're a project. But listen to me, this is not your fault. Do not feel foolish for wanting to believe in the dream. You come from a world where a man's word is his bond, and a handshake actually means something. You've spent 40 years building a life, only to find that the modern world back home has no use for your traditional values. You're tired of the games, the coldness, and the modern attitudes that left you lonely. It makes total sense that you'd want to plant a flag in this soil and build a sanctuary. You deserve to be valued. You deserve that emotional leverage that comes from being a respected provider. But the tragedy is that your goodness is exactly what they use to bait the hook. You aren't being paranoid, you're being targeted. And because I care about the man you are, I'm going to show you exactly how they sharpen the knife while they're kissing your cheek. Be ready, because the truth is about to get very uncomfortable. To help you truly grasp the danger, I want you to hold a specific image in your mind. Think of your dream home here as a sandcastle on a public beach. You spend all your energy, your golden years, and your hard-earned asset allocation building the most magnificent structure the locals have ever seen. You carve out the windows, you polish the walls, and you plant a little flag on top, feeling like the king of your domain. To you, it looks solid. It looks like a fortress of legal residency status. But here is the part you keep forgetting. You don't own the beach. In the West, when you buy the dirt, you own the sky above it. Here, the rules of the game are different. The sand beneath your masterpiece belongs to the public, or, more specifically, to her and her extended support networks. While you're inside admiring the marble floors, the tide is already coming in. That tide is the legal reality that says a foreigner is nothing more than a permanent guest. Or perhaps the tide is the local community that sees your sandcastle and decides it's the perfect place for a family reunion you weren't invited to. Because you don't own the ground, you have no real fence. You are just a temporary architect for someone else's permanent estate. You see a sanctuary, but the cultural logic here sees a communal resource. You are building for eternity, while they are positioning for the next season. Understanding this sandcastle image is the only way to survive. It is the difference between staying dry and drowning in a sea of relationship equity that was never yours to begin with. Now, let's get into the cold, hard mechanics of the game. If you want to survive your retirement here, you have to stop looking at the Philippines through the lens of a Western romantic and start looking at it like a high-stakes poker player. You are holding the chips, and everyone at the table knows it. The first rule of the hidden game is what I call the anti-dummy mirage. Here is the direct fact. As a foreigner, you cannot legally own a single square inch of land in this country. It doesn't matter if you paid for every grain of sand and every bag of cement with your own asset allocation. The law sees her name on that deed, and that makes you a permanent guest. The hidden reason why we Filipinas push for a house so early is simple. It's the ultimate insurance policy. In our culture, we are taught from birth that security isn't a feeling, it's a title. When she tells you that building a nest is a sign of your commitment, she is actually testing your legal residency status. She knows that once that signature is on the paper, the power dynamic shifts 180 degrees. If you ever misbehave or stop watering the garden the way she likes, she doesn't have to leave. You do. I've seen this happen 1,000 times. A man like you, 65 years old, builds a beautiful villa in Palawan. One day, there's a small argument. Maybe you didn't want to fund her brother's new tricycle business. Suddenly, her shy demeanor vanishes. She reminds you, very calmly, whose name is on the gate. You end up sleeping in the guest room of a house you paid for, wondering where the tasting of the pink taco went. My instruction to you is absolute. Never build. Never buy land. If you must have a legal residency status that feels like home, only look at high-end condominium titles where you actually own the unit, or a long-term 50-year lease registered on the title. Keep your asset allocation liquid. A man with a suitcase is a king. A man with a mortgage he doesn't own is a servant. This leads us to the second rule, the open door policy. In the West, your home is your castle. In the Philippines, a big house is a communal resource. The hidden explanation here is a concept we call utang na loob, or the debt of gratitude. Once you build that sandcastle, your woman's extended support networks see it as a victory for the whole clan. They don't see your privacy, they see our upgrade. The practical example is the cousin who suddenly needs a place to stay because his roof is leaking. Then it's the niece who needs to be closer to school. Before you know it, you're eating breakfast in your robe while 3 teenagers you've never met are watching TikTok in your living room. Your sanctuary has become a community center, and your relationship equity is being drained to feed people who don't even know your middle name. By the way, if you want the specific GPS coordinates of the safe zones for your retirement, places where you can live like a king without the clan moving in, I've mapped it all out in my private newsletter, the Filipina Blueprint. It's where I say the things that would get this channel deleted. I'll leave a link for you to join our inner circle in the description. Now, back to the remote control. The third rule is the power shift. Here is the fact. The one who holds the deed holds the remote control to the relationship. The hidden tactic is that a woman's emotional leverage peaks the moment the house is finished. Once the keys are in her hand, your usefulness to the local social hierarchy has reached its maximum. You've provided the asset allocation, and now you are just a recurring expense. You'll notice the change in the bedroom first. The visits to the jungle become less frequent. The hot sauce is replaced by, "I have a headache." Why? Because she no longer needs to audition for the role of your wife. She's already been promoted to the landlord. To avoid this, you must maintain liquid mobility. Your value should be your ongoing presence and your monthly support, not a static pile of bricks they already own. If you stay in a high-end, rented condo, you can leave tomorrow. That knowledge keeps her focused on keeping you happy. It keeps the mango tree well watered. Finally, we reach the most dangerous rule of all, the plot twist. Most men fear that the woman will leave once the house is built. That's a rookie mistake. The real danger isn't her leaving, it's her staying. The hidden logic is this. If she stays in a house she legally owns, she can bring her real life into the periphery while you sit in the master bedroom paying the electric bill. You become a financed spectator in your own life. I've seen men who are married but haven't tasted the fruit in years, while the cousin who hangs around the garage is actually the local boyfriend she really loves. She stays because you are the ATM that keeps the lights on in her sandcastle. You become a prisoner of your own legal residency status, too proud to admit you were made a fool of, and too broke to start over. Don't be that man. Keep your asset allocation in your own pocket. Keep your living situation flexible, and you will find that the relationship equity stays exactly where it belongs, in your favor. Stay sharp, because in this jungle, the moment you stop moving is the moment you become the meal. But here is the truth that will keep you awake at night, long after the crickets in the garden have gone silent. Most men in your position live in constant fear that the woman will take the house and run away with a younger local guy. You think that is the ultimate betrayal. But I'm here to tell you that a clean break is actually the lucky outcome. If she leaves, you only lose your money. The real horror story, the one that turns strong, successful men into hollow ghosts, is when she decides to stay. When she stays in a house she legally owns, you don't become the king of the castle. You become a financed spectator in your own life. You sit in that expensive recliner, watching the flat-screen TV you bought, while she moves her real life into the shadows of your peripheral vision. You are the one paying the electric bill, the water bill, and the grocery bill for a woman who hasn't let you taste the fruit in years. And that cousin who is always hanging around the gate? He isn't a relative. He is the man she actually loves, and you are simply the unpaid CEO of their lifestyle. You become a prisoner of your own legal residency status because your ego won't let you admit you were made a fool of. You stay because you have nowhere else to go and no asset allocation left to start over. This isn't a relationship anymore. It's a life sentence in a beautiful jail you built with your own hands. The rules of attraction are cruel, but they are incredibly just. If you try to buy a heart with a deed, you will eventually find yourself paying for a heart that belongs to someone else. Don't let your pride build your own cage. I know I've just walked you through a minefield, and it can feel like the dream of a tropical paradise is dead. But take a deep breath and listen to me carefully. The only reason I am so hard on you is because I want you to survive long enough to find the real prize. The Philippines is still the most incredible place on earth for a man of your caliber to find a love that is pure, traditional, and deeply loyal. There are thousands of wonderful, hardworking, and genuinely affectionate women here who aren't looking for a sandcastle. They are looking for a man with the silver in his hair and the gold in his heart. Your 60 years are not an expiration date. They are your greatest superpower. You possess the stability, the life wisdom, and the quiet strength that a young, impulsive boy of 20 can never offer. To the right woman, you aren't a project or a paycheck. You are the sanctuary she has been praying for. You are a king who finally knows how to spot the pretenders. Now that you know exactly where the holes in the road are, you can drive toward your future with total confidence. You aren't being cynical, you are being wise. And a wise, protected man is the most attractive thing in this world. The love you seek is real. It is waiting, and because you listened today, you will actually be able to keep it. So, tell me, have you ever felt like a permanent guest in a place you paid for? Or have you watched a friend's asset allocation crumble into a sandcastle nightmare? Share your story in the comments below. Your hard-won wisdom might be the shield another man needs to survive. My only mission is to ensure your golden years are defined by genuine affection, not just property management. You've earned your peace. Don't let a signature take it away. If this whistleblower report saved your future today, consider supporting my work. A small tip for a bucket of spicy Jollibee chicken or a cold San Miguel beer keeps me fueled to tell you the brutal truths others are too afraid to whisper. Thank you for trusting me with your journey. Stay sharp, stay free, and I'll see you in the islands. Good luck!